Jimmy O here from JOBLO.com, and guess what? I'm here at Skull Island. So I'm here to interview Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, but I'm not really feeling good about this. Okay, I'm getting the hell out. See you guys soon. So, since we last talked, you got an award for a movie.
I did,
a little award. Marvelous movie. And now you're doing Kong, Skull Island. Things have gotten big for you a little bit?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bigger.
How did the success of Room change?
My life?
Yeah, change your career, change life, or did it?
It's like a lot of people are asking me that, and I feel like it's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but not a lot has changed in my life. Like, my friends are still the same, my family's still the same. I drink tea the same way that I did before. Like, nothing has actually changed all that much. Certain things in my career, I guess, have changed.
Yeah.
I directed a film. I got to do that. So that's different, but most of it is actually still very much the same.
Well, I think that's a good way to live your life. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I feel bad saying it because it's like, oh, it's not like magical. It's not like fairies follow me around everywhere I go now, but...
You didn't hire the fairies to follow
I
you?
wish I should.
You
I
should.
wish if there were fairies that I could hire to be my friends, I would.
That'd be awesome. And I also, aside from being in this film, playing a photojournalist, the pictures all over here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have had no idea that you were that good of a photographer.
Okay, me too. I didn't know that I was that good until they printed them out. It was just, I had taken a photography class years ago, and then with this movie, I thought, well, I'm in these incredible locations. My subjects are like these amazing actors that are going to be great to take photos of, and it was just a way to get closer to who Mason is and what she's looking for and how she observes people. And then on top of it, I got some cool behind the scenes photos.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. Did you ever did it change your approach doing a film that is obviously you don't have a real monkey, giant monkey? Does it change your approach at all?
I think I was just more surprised by like how far your imagination can take you. You don't know until you kind of push yourself to the limit. I am used to working with more tangible things, working with a scene partner, but there's a lot of my job that's always been make-believe. This was just like way more extreme, of course. I'm trying to pretend that there's a giant Kong when there's really just like a pink X that I'm looking at. But I was amazed by like how much I could believe and connect even though there was nothing there.
Well, it seemed like you, coming from the success you had with Room, and even before, now you're jumping into these huge worlds, Kong, Skull Island, you're jumping into Marvel. It's insane. I mean, are there any fears or any kind of like...
Of course.
I mean, yeah.
It's scary. These are big movies. How would you feel if your face was in a close-up on IMAX? That's scary, dude.
It is scary.
It's really scary.
Although if my face looked like yours, I'd feel better about it, to be honest.
That's very nice, but I'm still super scared about that.
What is the most exciting thing about it for you?
I'm a big believer in storytelling, and it's a form of activism for me, and I'm just excited that I can make movies that are about things that are really important, that ask really big questions, and I get to do it in a fun movie with 3D glasses. Like, that's been my dream, and I'm getting to live that dream.
I love the fact that you are taking on a movie like this, leading man, hero. How's that feel?
Honestly, when I took it on, it was just so exciting because for me personally, it was very new. I played some great characters in my life, but this was a pure-hearted action adventure, and I was playing this, former soldier, tracker, heroic character. I loved it. I loved that extra responsibility too.
Nice. And it feels like, I've told a couple of people, it feels a little bit like an old-fashioned blockbuster in the sense it does take a little time to actually introduce the characters and really set up the situation.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Well, I think actually a lot of the blockbusters that we have now, so many of us are familiar with who the leading characters are.
Yeah. And
I think, if you look at the ones that Jordan Roberts, the director, and I talked about, we talked about Indiana Jones a lot and Jurassic Park and because those are the films you grew up on. And if you're being introduced to new people, it does take time to get to know them.
Yeah.
And then once the characters are established, you can say, okay, let's take him to the island and introduce them to Kong, which, let's face it, is the reason everybody's come to see it. So,
Well, you know, you.
it's a 100-foot prehistoric ape who's kind of exciting.
Kind
and
of a
cool.
big deal?
Yeah, kind of a big deal.
What was it like just being on? I mean, what I also liked is the director really gave this a style. He really gave this a look,
Yeah.
which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
How was he to work with?
He was great. I mean, he and I sat down in a diner in Nashville in October of 2014, and we were sat there for 4 hours just sharing ideas. When I finished the film I was making in Louisiana, I came here to Los Angeles and he showed me some concept art. We developed the script and the story together. And truthfully, the whole idea of this film was Jordan's. He came in and said, it's got to be the early 70s. We've gone through the 60s, huge social change. Nixon's just withdrawn US troops from Vietnam. Let's put Kong, this icon of movies, in a rock and roll era where the world is changing, where we can put Creedence Clearwater Revival on the soundtrack. We can have helicopters flying towards him as opposed to light planes, and re-enter human beings into the food chain, perhaps for the last time.
Yeah.
So hats off to Jordan for that.
Yeah, I love the Vietnam because there's a point I was like, oh wow, this is a little Apocalypse Now-y.
Oh, I love that movie, yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. Now, where did you shoot again? It was Hawaii, correct? Or?
We shot in Oahu and Queensland in Australia and northern Vietnam.
What was that like?
Amazing.
Oh, those amazing places.
Yeah. Truly, northern Vietnam was one of the most extraordinary places I've seen because the landscape is so distinctive and completely unspoiled. And the people are so warm and so welcoming, and the food is great. When we've been running through a swamp for 10 days, you come back to a nice Vietnamese meal. It's a cool thing.
You become pretty much a staple in the modern blockbuster, with Loki, and now this. And do you feel a pressure about that? Do you feel any kind of like, oh, I need to live up to this as an actor, or do you ever avoid that?
I always feel a responsibility. Always, doesn't matter what I'm doing, and that's to commit myself with as much dedication and energy as I can to make the best piece of entertainment that I can. I came from the cheap seats, you know. I wanted to be an actor because I loved movies, and I can always tell when people have really made an effort. So I don't feel pressure so much. I quite enjoy the responsibility of like, here we go, clean slate. We're back on set. We have another chance to make something great. I'm so lucky to do this job. So Jordan and I used to have this phrase, which is like, if we thought we had it and the take was fine, we could do another one, shall we move on? And we would say to each other, it's only forever. Let's do it again.
I'm gonna start with you, because I love the fact that after this Monster Calls, you're really getting to stretch the acting muscles a lot more.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you, dude.
Now, I swear to God, I read that you did some of the Kong stuff as well in this.
Originally, they asked if I would like to play Kong, and I didn't really want to venture into that because of my close friendship with Andy. I felt, not that he would be funny about it, but I felt weird that if I came and been brought in by Andy and then suddenly went and did a job he'd done so well, I felt strange. They did it with Terry Notary, who's fantastic. But there were some gaps, there were some pieces they just wanted, and they asked very kindly if I would come back and just fill in some gaps. So yeah, just facial work, some body work, just a few pieces, yeah, a few raws here and there, you know.
Yeah, it's good to see your face.
Thank you,
on
dude.
screen.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have it.
Yeah, this is a very different role for you, different film from
Yeah,
Straight Outta Compton.
absolutely.
What was it like to step into this? This is a huge world. Even the junket's huge.
Right, yeah, it's definitely a huge world, but fortunately for me, I had my brother there with me, Corey Hawkins, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who, you know, we kind of kicked off our acting career together, you know what I mean? So to see this kind of take off and to have this huge budget film, it was all great. But then we have veterans, people like Toby, you know, Sam, John Goodman, John C. Reilly, people who are just really just comfortable in their own skin already, you know what I mean? And really good coaches and people who, you know, are all about giving you a good pat on the back and, you know, putting you in the right direction.
Well, I feel like this is an unusual blockbuster in the sense that it kind of harkens back to the earlier days when you actually spent some character time.
Dead right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Was that the appeal?
That was the
Yes.
appeal. The appeal was that it was set in the Vietnam. Just the way the story crept forward, you know. There's a bunch of guys and the Sky Devils, they're friends, and they got this guy, this leader, Packard, and it's going on, and they got it's a delivery service, right? That's how we pitched this delivery. We've got to deliver these government operatives, and there's a giant monkey, you know. But it's a Kong movie, you know.
Yeah.
And that's him.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that I really like this character for you because it was
Thank you.
such a sweet,
Yeah.
very different from I think maybe a Monster Calls. You're playing
Yeah.
these vulnerable,
Right.
interesting characters.
Yeah.
What was it like taking this guy on?
It was beautiful. I mean, you know, it was beautiful to spend time with people who actually have children, and I had just done that work. So it was a nice pick point, you know, to create that thing. But it was just beautiful working with Jordan. It was me and Jordan. Most of the time, the guys were all in a gang, and we'd all arrive together, do makeup together, and be there. But they were kind of following to track him, you know, they're tracking Chapman. So they're all just sitting over there enjoying the sunshine, and I'm working with Jordan, you know, we're doing a lot of close-up work. So really it grew every day, you know,
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's cool. And for you, it must have been, it seems like it was a really good bond between the actors here.
Absolutely, absolutely. We had the opportunity to do like improv workshops and things like that. But aside from that, it's such a great group of people in such great locations, you know what I mean, that we really took advantage of that. You know, we watch a bunch of UFC fights and, you know, we just really took advantage of having some real guide time in
Yeah.
some beautiful places, you
Yeah.
know?